gone, and Scott and I volunteer, so we got nothing to lose.
Well, we got to find some new volunteers for that. I think I'm good for a couple of emergency fill-ins, but that's the worst job of the bunch.
Oh yeah. Unless you're working on your timeshare down in Juarez.
See,
Hey,
Go.
Rick. Hey, how did he get in here?
Rico,
yo, how are you?
Rico.
This Zoom call will let anybody in.
Right. Are you breathing?
Rico, I'm with you, buddy.
Where's Wentz? I hear
Yeah.
him.
Frank, we can't hear you.
We can't see him,
I
but we
don't
can
know
hear
what
him.
happened. I got this face up there that's a stick person. A stick person.
All right. Sorry,
So-
guys. Wait.
You guys,
You know, I'm so technologically challenged that if I screw with this thing, I'll have my picture up there and I'll lose you guys.
well, we can hear you, so that's good enough for us.
Yeah.
The way I am, Danny, it's one or the other.
Now, okay,
I can't
hey.
figure out how to do both.
I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys my recent scar. Okay,
I might faint.
want to see it? All right, let me see if I can do this. I don't want to have a Jeffrey Tubin moment here, but let me see if I can show it to you here.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's oh my God, look at that.
It is a zipper.
Scott,
Zipper.
I took your advice, and the doc said, sure, we can do that.
That's a lot easier.
Okay.
Easy in and out.
No stitches required.
Great idea, Scotty.
Oh, that's gonna look great.
Oh, I knew it was going to be hard. Okay, deep breaths. Here we go.
All right, sorry, guys.
All right. So, what do you guys think of the season?
It sucked for me.
Yeah.
Not even at the tail end, but I'll tell you, Chris, the thing that worked out the best, I thought this year was, and maybe you did it last year too, was doing the starter sheet in advance.
Yes.
Not having had that clusterfuck every Wednesday of people racing in and beating up the starter and scratching names off. To have that put here, that was outstanding.
Yeah. Well, I'll still be doing that all year. So I'll be.
That's good.
What is the process for that? I mean, as far as how you're putting the foursomes together, is it?
It's in the Excel sheet actually, day of game, and you can once everyone's signed up, you can get the spreadsheet for.
No, I understand that part of it. What I'm saying is, how do you group the guys together and who goes out when?
It's first come, first serve.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to get out early, they have to. As soon as they see, once I post the email, whoever gets in first and wants to play first, or wants to play with somebody, then that kind of changes the situation too. Because it was like Mike and Mark and Steve, and they always want to play together. It's kind of like almost impossible to break them up except for the match play.
Well, it's good to keep the games
and
together.
Bill. Well, Bill and Dave also, or did you
Yeah.
say that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And that's all it is basically, is once you sign up, if you want to play with somebody, announce it, when you sign up, say, we want to play.
Yeah. If you see that, yeah, Chris always says, if you at the same time RSVP, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's a couple of guys that play together all the time too. Chambers, Harlan.
Right.
Yeah.
CRP, I just have a question. So are they doing that online prior to the day of, or?
Yes, I send out the email. I send out a mass email, and you should probably get those. They might end up in your spam file, but you'll see the send to me, cpgolf.com from cpgolf@muniman.com. So either way, I get you coming and going.
That's, I don't know. it's pretty screw up proof in my
Yeah.
view.
Yeah, if you want to play, let it, and if you want to get out early, tell me now and tell me who you want to play with. What you are, gay or lesbian.
And you just need the enforcer with the clipboard on the day of, right? So
Right.
nobody crosses names off
Right,
on the.
right.
That wasn't an issue at all this year, Danny. It worked really, really well.
No,
That's
Bubba-
awesome.
In fact, what was nice about it is guys know what time their tee time is, so people show up staggered. You know, and that just hasn't been an issue. It's worked really well.
Right.
I was just thinking about, you know, how getting different guys together, and you know, over the years, I've always wanted to do the dance card kind of thing, and you know, have every Richard play with another Richard over the course of the season, which may not be realistic.
Yeah.
But I've been asked-
Maybe we could do something like a punch card, or Dan, I'm thinking had some ideas too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and it was like a dance card, and you got points, if you will, for as many different Richards as you play. So at the end of the season, if you played with 30 different Richards, you got some kind of a prize.
Yeah, that's a fun. I mean, that'd be a fun idea. Again, I don't know how hard it is to pull off, but that'd be kind of fun.
Wouldn't be
I think it,
Well, that's somewhat like the longest drive. There's no points.
No, you
I mean,
get
there's
point,
no money, but there's points.
right.
You get points. It'd be the same thing.
the idea is just to, you know, like you said, CRP, it might be hard to break up, you know, Harlan and Scoop or somebody like that, but you know, it's up to every Richard whether they'd like to mix it up with new Richards or go
Right.
with who they.
But the other thing, you know, the match play actually breaks that up, you know, early in the
Right.
season,
Yeah.
because yeah, they, you know, they have no control over it, so they have to play one way or the other, whether it's that week or the week after.
Yeah.
So it's worked out pretty good. I mean, I'm really pleased with the way
I
that,
think it's worked out well. Yeah.
yeah, signing guys in.
And it has mixed up the foursomes too. I mean, just.
Yeah, yeah. You know, occasionally they'll have to get out of their comfort zone, but that's
Right.
all. I think it works fine.
Yeah,
Speaking of the match play, I think we'd like to do, if we could move on to the match play a little bit, is we're going to change the venues on the match play. We won't be playing Mick Riley every time. It'll be Mick Riley. It'll be a Murray Parkway. Once, you know, as we move through the season, it'll move to a different course every third week.
For each bracket, I mean, as the brackets,
The brackets will stay the same, you know, it's whether you win or lose. And once I start doing the brackets, it's, you know, pretty straightforward. So I don't think we have to be at Mick Riley for every match play.
No, I think that's fine too. I think logistically it might even work out better
Yeah,
to move it around. You know, again, you're still going to be playing one-on-one with the guy you're, you know, up against, regardless of the venue you're at.
right. And
Yeah.
sometimes that changes because one guy can't make it and the other guy can, but
And you end up playing someplace anywhere, right?
so.
But, you know, looking at the quality of our golfers, it puts some of them at a disadvantage.
There'd be a little bit of that, Frank, but actually, McRiley historically has been the toughest course we play. I mean, our league handicap is like 2 strokes larger at McRiley than any other venue we play.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard that before.
Hard
I
to
was
believe.
thinking about, it is hard to believe, yeah.
So if I have a
I know
match
about
against a really
Hammer.
tough guy, then I want to play at Old Mill because I got a better chance.
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be fine, Chris, moving it around. I don't think it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I don't see an issue with it.
Okay, well, we'll plan on doing that. Also, I think I would need a match play director. They don't have to do much except get the money, handle the money. Well, actually, that might be coming through PayPal, you know, my PayPal thing. So yeah, we'll just have the money, but I just want somebody else to handle it on the starter situation on a weekly basis when it happens. It's just a little bit too much for me, I think, to handle.
Well, I mean, as far as the groups out, I mean, that's going to be no difference with the starter sheet.
Sure.
You've got that. I mean, that's just the starter handles that. The day of play, I don't think it's going to be any big deal at all.
Yeah, for a new match director. And I'm feeding them anyway, feeding them the brackets, feeding them all that anyway by working the spreadsheet.
Yeah, but I think CRP, where you're trying to go with this is that you just want somebody other than you to be out there in the public eye as named as this year's match play director.
Right.
So that if somebody has a question or they're grumpy or whatever, they don't go to you. They go to whoever that year's director is.
Right.
Well, and one thing that might make that a little easier too, Chris, is to eliminate the pool betting, at least take that away from the director of the match play. If somebody wants to run that individually and separately, run the pool.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
That's the one that's a pain in the butt.
Right.
That's your match play pit boss.
Right. If somebody wants to run the gambling side of it and do that completely separate, so whoever is the director, or because it's going to run pretty smooth the way you put it together, Chris. I mean, it's foolproof. You got the brackets. We know who's there. We got the venues. We go play. The starter can get them out that day. If there are questions or issues with, somebody missing a match and having to make it up, there needs to be a little refereeing there, but it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah.
And again, if somebody wants to be, and again, if Stitt was around, he loved doing it. If somebody wants to put the pool together and handle the gambling, make that a separate deal.
Right. Want to have a pool of the match play?
I volunteer for the director stuff, Chris. I don't want to handle the gambling stuff because I just don't want to get into that.
Right.
Somebody do that. I mean, I don't mind organizing, answering questions about what's happening in the bracket or whatever, but I don't want to do the gambling, so I don't know who's going to do that.
Well, I could send a general to the membership and say, hey, we're looking for a match play director. It's not as hard as it sounds.
Well, I mean, Rick just volunteered for it as long as he doesn't have to do the gambling side.
Yeah.
Now you just need money, man.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, the money would be coming through me anyway.
Well, isn't that only 1 week in the very beginning?
Well, yeah, but every time we have the match play going on, the director should probably be there to announce the winners or something. But even I could do that. So, but no, Rico, if you don't want to handle the gambling,
I'll help you however you want to do it, Chris. But I don't want to be in the
okay, all right,
gambling.
Well,
That would be great.
I can handle the gamble. I think I can. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what we're talking about.
It's the bracket.
The gambling.
It's the bracketology part of it. It's like the basketball. It's the brackets, and we separate those two things. Because the tournament, the match play itself runs pretty smoothly. It's well organized. I mean, there may be some questions. I mean, Rick can handle that stuff, but then just move the bracketology part of it, completely separate that out. And if somebody wants to take that on as a separate deal, then they can do it and manage it and handle it. And I don't even know if we need to decide that right now, or whether we do. Maybe we don't even do the bracketology.
Well,
if somebody get upset about it, wants to do it, then they can take it over.
Well, that's true too. Just let match play be match play.
Right.
Not add the.
Somebody wants to run the bracket. Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So that's how we could send it out. We could.
I'm the one who probably created the most work because I'd submit like 14 sheets.
I love you, Daddy. I love you. I love you.
I gave up on sons of bitches. You never showed through.
It had potential.
You did close. You teased a little bit. You kept teasing me.
Yeah, don't pick him on because of your heart. Pick them because you want to make money, buddy. Boy, did Gary Brown do a job on it this year. Jeez, he just ripped it.
That's all.
But yeah, it is a bit too much. And so I'm wondering, yeah, maybe just drop the bracketology unless someone would like to handle it. And I could make that a general send. We could say,
First guy that has to say, oh, so you're volunteering?
who wants to be director of bracketology?
Yeah,
You know what? Somebody would step up for that. I know they would.
So we're
I
gonna,
think so. I think just pull that aside, make it a different deal, and as we get closer to it, somebody's going to want to do it.
all right. Okay, and I like that. That'd be a good way to approach it. And I love having Rico as hospitality director and match play.
Ooh.
Double slash whammy.
Different this year.
Double duty,
All the way to Auschwitz.
Hey, Rico, here's to you, buddy. It's my crooked glass. Here's to you, Rico.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
That was a good idea, Chris. By the way, that was a good idea. It is 3 o'clock, but that was a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the way this is going. It's nice having you guys here. And I appreciate everything you guys have done for us since the
Hey,
beginning.
no problem.
Well, we appreciate what you do. You do the bulk of the lifting.
I'm gonna cry. Okay, so onward and upward. So we did the menu, changing the venues for match play.
Hey, CRP, I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you nail down item number 2 on your agenda yet?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. What's number 2?
Getting 4 or 5 Richards to alternate weekly as the starter.
Right. Well, that'll be a send out to the general membership. Frank and Scott are the only ones doing it now. I did it this season. Very gracious. And I appreciate everything they did.
Yeah, and I would like to cut back on it a little bit. I mean, I'll fill in where it needs to be, and certainly we'll fill in an emergency. But yeah, it's just a tough that's the worst of the jobs.
Yeah.
And so I think we should send that out as, hey, Richards, here's a little job. We want to have 4 or 5 weekly starters that will start the thing. And
Well,
now
I think Hammer would buy in.
yeah, I think Hammer would be wonderful for
And
that.
I don't mind every so many weeks.
You know, Chris, if you put that out as just a request for help, from a volunteer standpoint, you're gonna get those 4 or 5 guys.
I think so. And yeah, and that'll all work. So
Well, how many we've got? I mean, how many events do we have? 27, 28 Wednesdays? How many do we play?
it's about 28, 29, depending on the year.
Yeah.
If you don't count, I think it's around 28.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal really if we can just get 5 guys that would rotate.
Yeah, so
position,
you've
and
got
then
once
you
a
don't
month
get caught.
kind of the thing.
Yeah, and you don't get
Like once every 4th week or once every 5th week,
Right, something like that. Then it's not too bad.
yeah.
If the guy knows it going in that he's only going to do it 4 times or whatever, 5 times.
Yeah, I think it'll work. So yeah, I'll just do that as a general send and see, what blows up the skirts. I don't know if I would do it until maybe in the spring, just as it start coming on, instead of doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
There'll be a little more anxiety.
Yeah, when their hearts are young and gay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just maybe a week or 2 before the 1 club or something like that.
And I'll get into that pool. I don't mind.
Yeah, appreciate you, Frank. So we need 4 guys.
But I mean, the more the better,
Right.
Yeah,
And what happens is I bring the list if you're having a hard time getting there, I'll still be covering that because I'll have all the stuff in the bags and the sheets that the starter needs when they show
Yeah,
up.
if you
So-
just send it over, It's pretty. I mean, you've done
Yeah, I
that
can do
before.
that
It's
too.
pretty easy.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
easy.
it's
You
pretty
show up, you show up and you pick up the clipboard. I mean, that part's just dirt
Yeah.
simple. There's nothing to it. You know, when I did it, you've got to show up early and then you go out last. So I wouldn't show up an hour before. I just make sure I'm there before the first group gets off the tee. Pick up the clipboard. Really, that job is just herding the cats towards the end. You know, making sure everyone shows up, they get their money in. And then, you know, at the end of the night, you know, that's where the tough part is. You know, you're coming in last, no time for beer or food or hanging out with your buddies. You've got to
Yeah.
count up, and, you know, and get them.
Yeah.
By the time you got all that done, everyone's out of there.
Right.
So that's what makes it tough. So if it was, you know, if somebody does it once a month, you know, and we get, like you say, 4 or 5 guys,
No, that'd work fine.
just need somebody to step up.
Yep. Okay, I'll send that out in a general email just before the season gets going. We'll see what drops from the trees then.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the third thing on the agenda? Or have we already covered that?
Match play director, you nailed that. Next is number 4 was new venue for the John Horsley Invitational.
Right. Rico kind of gave me a hint that Hidden Valley might not invite us back.
Hey, what are you saying we're country club material?
Oh, well, boy, well,
That's
I'm
why
gonna take the 5th on.
What do you guys think about?
Part of my 5th right
What do
here.
you guys? What do you guys think about Soldier Hollow?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, talking the whole idea behind it, then it's really not an invitational. Any of those events we can do anytime. What was cool and what was fun about the invitational in Hidden Valley, and it's changed. I mean, it's changed over the years. You know, when we first started doing this, you could buy a membership out there for $8,000, you know, and there were more tee times available, and we were younger and played faster. Just, you know, it's just the way of the world. And I understand it, Rick. And, you know, I think drop it. You know, we just don't do it and don't, you know, put you guys in that position.
Yeah, that's bad.
But that was the cool thing about it, was the opportunity for somebody to go play at the country club.
Right.
So to move, so the venue, I don't think makes any sense anyplace else as an invitational. I'll tell you the only place where Hidden Valley might make sense, and it's presumptuous of me as I'm not a member out there, would maybe you do something at the end of the year that would be a volunteer appreciation day where you have maybe 2 foursomes. I mean, the 4 guys that are the starters for the year, you know, and maybe you invite only the Big Richard or the Dick Cup champion. And if you're putting together just 2, 3 foursomes, that's just a regular golf outing. You don't do closest twos. You don't do the tournament thing. You just get 2, 3 groups of buddies to go out as a volunteer appreciation for the guys who, you know, stood up for the Richards over the course of the season. That might be kind of a fun thing at the end of the year. And maybe that's motivation for the guys who are stepping up and doing the work. But as an invitational, I think we just drop it.
Yeah. Well, here's what well, 2 things about that. John Horsley actually lives right near or on Glenmore Golf Course. So, and now Robbie lives there too. And so they both know. I know Robbie's already told me that he's getting familiar with or friendly with the staff at Glenmore. And he mentioned to them about having the Richards come out as a rotation, you know, like we did with Murray Parkway when we first started doing it.
Right.
But, you know, it makes kind of sense. John Horsley Invitational, John Horsley's on the golf course. It's got his course, you know. So, you know, yeah, it's not the same. I agree with you, Scotty.
But I mean, the whole invitational aspect is out of it, because if we do that, it's not limited to, you know, just the guys who are the top 16 or whatever. It was always based on the number of tee times we could get at Hidden Valley was going to determine your invitation, how high you finished on the points list. And that, I think, kind of is out the window, because if we just want to do a fun tournament at the end of the year, you know, everybody can come play.
Yeah.
The John Horsley Appreciation Tournament. It's not 27 holes, it'll just be 18.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's what I thought about that is that we could, if there really are, if Robbie and John really are friendly with the staff, but maybe we make it also a party after a little bit, where we haven't been able to do that in Valley because they push us to the end of the season so far
Right.
to get up there.
Right.
You do it sooner.
Well, they've got a very nice restaurant there, Rico.
Yeah,
Have
they
you played
do.
there recently?
Well, about a year ago I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I played there last Friday with with Robbie, and he
Yeah.
was on number 7. But that course is in primo shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun, and it doesn't have to be anything except the John Horsley tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be an invitational.
Is
It's just a
Glen,
John Horsley tournament.
is Glenmore private?
No.
No,
No.
I mean, that was the whole hook for the, playing out at Hidden Valley was it
Right.
gave community golfers a chance to play a course that they had no access to.
right, and it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun, and that was the motivation. But its time, I think, has come and gone. And at this point, I think we just drop it. We don't even make an announcement about it. It just drops off the schedule, and it just is no more. It was something that worked well once a day, and we just be done with it.
Yeah, Scott, everything, the whole golf paradigm's changed now. So,
Well, the older we get, I got to tell you, it was hard for me to hit out of the deep rough there. I love to play that course. It's a great course, Hidden Valley, but dang, you get in that rough out there and you break your wrist.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
mean, the older we get, to your point, Danny, the older we get, the harder it is to do
Yeah.
that.
yeah, Scott, I'm with
I
you.
mean, the
on that.
whole thing is don't hit it in the rough and you're okay.
Right.
Well, I mean, and I mean, I'd still, like to play out there if I knew somebody sometime that would give me an invite to go out and play. As long as I didn't have to put up with a group of yahoos, slowing the course down in some silly tournament. Get those guys off the course.
Don't
and
get
then
personal.
I'll play.
Don't get personal, Scott.
We'll see if we can find somebody, Scotty.
No, I wouldn't mind having Glenmore
Scott.
on rotation. I
Scott,
wouldn't
you
mind.
left off something there in your thing for Hidden Valley, and that was someone that had a past.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
do somebody.
Tap in. But I wouldn't mind having Glenmore as a one of the rotation sites. I mean,
I think
if they're out there,
Of
Darren's
course, a
out,
lot of guys, a lot of the guys play out there.
Curtis, all those
well,
guys.
not many, Scott. Not many. I mean, Bruce plays out there. The only two I know that play out there are Bruce and Mike Curtis.
Yeah, Chad plays out there. Curtis plays out there. Quite a few guys play out there. I used to play out there a lot back in the day, but back before it had houses on it.
Yeah.
Who's the friendliest one with Robbie or
Yeah,
Robbie knows
John.
Robbie knows the head pro and the head of the men's league. He would be the one to talk to about
Right.
hooking us up.
right?
yes, he already told me he would do that. In fact, he already said he had mentioned it, and about having a league come out there. Didn't say how many times, but and they were like, "Sure, yeah, let's hook it up. Let's figure it out." So
Cool.
it's already an opportunity we could look into.
Tough part about that is, as I found out back in the day, putting these things together originally was so many courses already have leagues on Wednesday.
Right.
That would be the issue. When they have a Wednesday available, fantastic. I'd throw it in the rotation. That's a fun course to play.
Yeah.
But if they come in and say, well, we can do it, but it'll need to be on a Tuesday or a Thursday, I mean, is that going to be a deal breaker?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, it
And I
would be.
I don't remember if he told me the details of whether he mentioned we're a Wednesday league or not, but they were receptive to the idea. So I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just follow up. I'll follow up with Robbie and
Yeah.
make sure it's a Wednesday.
matters.
and all that.
Begin talking with them.
Yeah.
Finding out if we're open for that.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Let's have him do it.
We'll do.
See if we can get out there, because I do like Glenmore. I like Glenmore a lot.
I don't like the drive out there, but I like the course.
Right, the drive is a little, but you know, Mick Riley can be a bit of a drive too anymore. All that good stuff. Okay, so talking about these venue things too, and I think that's the awards banquet. Have we moved on from?
Yeah, you're right. Number 5 is rotating final golf and awards
Right.
bank
Right.
venue.
Right. So we found out this year when we did it at Murray Parkway that that little slim hall got me COVID. No. But
Yeah,
kind of close to it. It was kind of scary. However, the other thing is Mick Riley is great. Virginia's great. There's plenty of room there. We could do our final, 9 holes at Mick Riley, and then stay right there and have her cater us for the awards banquet. We could do it there. We could do it at Old Mill.
Yeah, Old Mill has a terrific meeting space.
Sure, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy, especially if we're using them as our caterer for the event.
Right.
They'll be more than happy to have us there and do the awards banquet after the round. And it works good because you can still do your 18 holes for the guys. We just send the placards out with them when they go out at noon, and then the 9-hole guys that go out at 2 can move the placards back onto the green after the 18-hole guys have gone through. So they all get in the money pot playing the same hole for the awards banquet. So you can either play 18 or 9, still, being in for the money, and then just have the awards banquet right there, and it's all done. We're all in one place. We don't have to go anywhere else.
Well, with the exception of the tiny space, which was not very good, the rest of it worked out well.
Yeah, Murray Parkway.
Having it catered, doing it right after, I love that. But that was just the venue was no good.
Right.
The space, like you say, that those meeting rooms that are just south of where the grill is at Old Mill, where I've done tournaments there where they open up those rooms in the back. They do weddings, they do all kinds of other crap. They've got the doors that open up onto that back patio. That's a nice space back in there. So,
yeah.
And we catered it from him. They'd throw some tables back there for us. I think that worked really well.
And we could even.
That's where I would agree, Scott.
Yeah, and we could even go to actually up to Mountain Dell. For the most part, I think the course is usually still open then, and we could do our final 18-9 and awards banquet up at Mountain Dell, and try and get in there.
There's a big difference there, Scott. Am I still on?
Yeah.
There's a big difference there. The Mountain Dale is kind of open to the bar, and Old Mill is closed off.
Yeah, Old Mill is
private.
It's a private banquet room. I think Mountain Dell is just a little bit. It's like Danny. Danny said it best, back in G3 a couple years ago. He didn't want to be seen in public.
Please, no photography, please.
Please. And in many cases heard.
So I think it's better that we do have a private space.
All right. Okay.
But what about Glenmore? What do they got?
Glenmore would be fine, I think, in there. But that's a public course too. So.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway, the general concept, I think, is a good one. Regardless of exactly where we do it. I know Old Mill's a good space because I've been in there and seen it, but I think that's
Glenmore is exactly like the one you mentioned earlier, Chris.
Mountain Dell or.
Well, I've just been to the grill out at Glenmore. I don't know do they do weddings and have banquet and meeting space?
No, I don't think they do that, Scott. Not there. I think the only place that does that I know of, I played around, is River Oaks and Old Mill.
Yeah, West Ridge does a lot of it out there, but that's way the hell out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that gives us a good feel for moving the awards banquet around and sharing the catering money with everybody and making the courses happy that we're using their facilities. And
Right.
Mhm.
it,
Yeah, I
takes
agree.
it takes a lot of work out of, off of Rico, because, that was quite a deal every year for Rico.
I know
And God,
Frank.
look how old he looks now.
Rico,
Where? Beating
you're a
me
young
down,
man, dude.
beating me down, boys. I know, and the 1 year, I know Frank took over. and I couldn't-
Right.
You didn't know you came in here for a beat down, did you, Rico?
I'm used to it with the band.
That's it.
There you
Bass
go.
players getting over
Same.
it.
Same.
It's okay, bass-
Absolutely. All right. Okay. So we're working through that too. And that's what we'll probably plan on doing is switching the things. But I mean, the membership doesn't need to know it until we do it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6 is G3,
Oh.
Saturday, Conestoga.
Oh yeah. I haven't contacted. I'm gonna contact Steve, email Steve who lives down there, and get that all set up before Darren sends his, which is
Does
coming
he
up
wanna-
soon.
Does Steve want to do it? It seemed like last year he was not interested, or was that just a timing problem or?
Steve,
Yeah,
no, actually, it was more me. I really didn't want to have to hook Conestoga up last year, so I just told Darren to go ahead and
is there a lot of requests for?
You know-
Conestoga?
not a big.
I'll tell you what, personally, I'm not a huge fan of Conestoga. What I do like about Conestoga is Steve hosting our after party.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, exactly.
But as far as
Well,
the
you know,
course
Catherine-
goes,
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Catherine Cole got us on the Palmer course, $60.
Okay, that does it. Yeah, we're not going to Conestoga. I'll call Darren and tell him to make sure he gets in touch with Catherine Cole and get us a really nice deal somewhere.
yeah,
Well, I can get Johnson to do that if you want.
Yeah,
He's down there with her
right.
and his wife, by the way.
Oh, polygamy! I love it. Polygamy call.
Oh,
Yeah, they're in the hot tub. They're in the hot tub with
Oh
Roman.
my God!
I
Are there any videos?
heard about those swinger things.
I don't know. I've heard they're illegal down there.
It's all legal in Mesquite.
Yeah, Broman's got his feet all propped up, so it might be a problem.
You're bad. You're bad boy wins. You're a bad boy.
Love it. I
I'm
love
trying
it.
to be good, Rico. Chris got me hooked on this scotch before I was starting, so it's all Chris's fault. I'm
Hey,
starting to
don't drag me into this. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, so yeah, we'll just tell Catherine, and then yeah, I don't really want to mess with Steve this year either. So that's
Yeah.
it.
I'm fine with that. Still, my favorite is the Oasis down there. That's what I liked last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And that first 9, doing the knock your rust off there, that first 9. That's the first time I've played that course on my own ball. I wouldn't mind playing 18 there sometime on my own ball.
Yeah.
But I do like that course.
Yeah,
But I'm okay with the Palmer. I like the Palmer and the Vista. Both are, I don't know, what do they call it anymore? It's not the Vista, the Palmer and the whatever the hell the other one is there. I like those. Just no fucking finish.
what?
I will not play at the Falcon Ridge. Oh God.
Oh no, me neither.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm with you. And Conestoga is kind of in that class for me too.
Yeah, there's just too many gimmicky holes. I mean, the one par 5 that's 3 par 3s.
Yeah. Right.
And the blind shots and off of cliffs and yeah,
That's
it's
the one where they have the windmill.
that's right. That's the big scary clown.
Oh yeah, the clown and then the windmill. Okay. Yeah.
That's valid.
You remember? I remember one year we were at Conestoga and the wind was horrific,
Uh-huh.
and that
Mhm.
there were some carries that just could not be achieved.
Actually, blew us off the course, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and we tried last year. We went, 2 years ago, I guess it was. We went there last year. down at the Palms. I mean, it's kind of a funky course, but it suits us. I mean, it's 2 different 9s.
Yeah.
That's where it was so damn windy. We couldn't even finish the round there a
yeah.
couple years ago. But as far as a place to play, I have no issues with it if we had to go play at the Palms.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
We can belch there. We can openly, we can misbehave.
What we're good at. All right, so very good. That does it. How's the agenda coming? New business yet?
Okay, so number 7, rotate fees
Huh?
depending on handicap and age.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's where I wish we had Steve here on the horn, but I should have said, please come, but he's doing stuff. Anyway, it's up to, I think it's pretty much a call up to Steve, because I don't know how it would affect the Excel spready.
Well, so here's the thing I think is the issue. We didn't have any way to adjust handicaps based on the tee box location, right? Which in fact would be like the slope difference. So that's what we missed because we didn't have the spreadsheet prepared to handle that. So you got to know the index. Well, the way UGA does it, that's the index and the slope from the tee box you're using. That's
Right.
Right.
So is that
So, of
something that Steve would have to plug in?
Yeah, because I think we were just using the same handicap no matter what. You turn
Everybody.
70, play for the forward, but you use
Everybody's playing from, the same, there's one slope for everybody.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you'd be injecting
Three
anywhere from one to 3 slopes.
slopes in the,
No,
into the
I
spread.
don't know. I mean, how big an issue is it really? I don't,
It's pretty, I would think it'd be pretty minuscule, especially if you're maybe just basing it on the white difference between white, blue, and red. So I mean, I don't know. We'd have to kind of get Steve's opinion on that. And
I mean, does it really make
Somebody
that
can
much?
play the blues. Really just the reds and the whites, isn't it?
no, actually, 1 to 5s would
Much difference. You got the old guys sit out the forward tee, and that's fine.
1 to 5 handicaps hit from the blues. 6 to 10 hit from the whites, and all the other guys would hit from the reddies. And that would include anybody that's over 70, which I will be next year at this time. By God, I'm running up there to dress.
But so that the handicap has to reflect that.
Right.
And maybe it's only 1 stroke or 2 strokes. I don't know, but maybe that's the difference. And maybe it's more. I don't. I haven't really done the math to know.
Right. Let's.
Well, as I remember, when Hammer moved up, I mean, he played like crap until he moved the first year, I think, and the second year he moved up to the Reds, and he won a couple of tournaments, and then he was out of it. I don't know how, but his handicap seemed to catch up with him.
He came close, but he also got the Dick Cup because of his play.
I don't know that it's all that bad, and to give it makes it an opportunity to be more competitive for the older guys.
And it ought to be everybody, and I don't know how you do it, but everybody ought to be able to get to 150 to 140 yards out from a par 4, and same way with a par 5 when on their third shot, between 150 and 100 yards.
Right.
And that's what some of them can't do. Now, Denny can do that, and so can Tom Vera. And I can do it, but I play from the whites anyway because I want to hit all my clubs.
Right. So yeah, actually, and you would have the option. I guess you would have the option as long as we know that you're playing from the whites as opposed to the reds or blues.
Yeah, the only time I want to play the forward tees is when I play a team game. Like
Yeah. Right.
Then I do my team harm when I play from the back, because I obviously can play better from the front, from the reds.
Sure. So I think I think it will depend on what we can work out with Steve and see if if he could get the spready to reflect those T slopes.
It just seemed
Well,
to
I don't
me,
know who said it a while ago, but it should be pretty easy. It's just, in my mind, he would be working with two formulas, really only one, because he's already got the white plugged in.
Right.
Yeah.
Figure out a way to add the blues and the reds, and then we also would have to indicate when they're playing which tee box they are hitting from.
Yeah,
Well,
I understand.
that would affect.
Right.
I
I
mean,
mean, I
because
understand.
when you enter the scores in, you'd have to enter whether Tom Vera played from the reds or the whites, and so on.
Right, right.
What were you gonna
Usually
say,
he plays from forward tees.
Scott? What were you gonna say?
Well, what I was going to say is, I understand wanting to get it as tight and as close as we can with the slopes, the ratings, the different guys hitting from different tees based on ability versus age. But I mean, that gets pretty complex. And there's also, I'm really concerned about, again, pace of play. If we've got a group and you got one guy hitting from the blues and one guy hitting from the whites and a couple guys hitting from the reds, I mean, it just seems to me it's going to be problematic. I don't have any heartache really in letting the older guys get that little bit of an edge by going forward and playing that forward tee. It's a edge. It's going to wear out over time. I don't know how big an issue it really is. It seems that's the easiest way to do it. It's just you're 70, you can go to the forward tee.
Right, right. But your big Richard this year, does Tim hit from the reds? Tim Haddon?
No,
yeah,
I don't think so.
Huh?
Adam,
I don't know. I don't know if I played with Tim.
he's forward tees.
Is he?
Mhm.
Yeah,
With
he's
that
That's what I
comment,
thought.
the comment I was going to make, Scotty, was that there was a lot of the net scores winners were a lot of times on the forward tees, and it was the handicaps and their net scores. They had an advantage, and they were making up a lot of points because of where they were teeing off from, and it was not adjusted accordingly. Maybe it doesn't matter much, but
Well, I mean, here's no. You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right, and that only impacts, I think, just a handful of guys. So maybe it should be if you're 70 and your handicap is at a certain level. Maybe if you're 70 but your handicap hasn't gone down, you still have to stay back at the whites. That's not an automatic, ticket forward.
yes, that's kind of what I was, we need some kind of way to, because you can see the pendulum switch over. And like Chris was saying, if you look at the spreadsheet and the winners and the people with the highest score or big Richard numbers and all kinds of things, now sure, it should be fair. And maybe that's the fair thing. I don't know, but it seemed to swing the other way. We need to be. I just think we need to take some due diligence and say, let's make sure we're not missing something that make it fair across the league, because that's what we should be doing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't change anything, and maybe it is as simple as you're 70, you go to the forward tees, and life goes on. That's what it is, But I don't know. We never really looked at it, and I feel like we're maybe missing something that's swinging this thing out.
Well, you know what? To your point, Rico, I think if Steve were to put the red forward tees in the formula, that may change their handicap dramatically.
Well, yeah, it may and it may not, but I think my suggestion was if he can do something like that, we should have that information and see if we can use it to make things fair across the board.
Right.
But if it isn't, I don't know. I just had a sense that we were seeing a switch in the people who were winning. And when you look at it, they were playing the forward tees.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think
Keeps those guys coming back, though. That's the thing. It's actually.
Well, but the thing is that an advantage, or is that putting them back to parity, back to where they used to be able to play from the whites because they're older, they can't hit it as far now? And that still makes, my point was that it makes it kind of exciting because now they're competitive again.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
and
we're all
maybe-
getting
maybe 2
older.
years ago, they were winning, but as their game has declined, you know, that I thought that was the whole point of it, was to give them a little bit of an edge.
Yeah. And it was
we want
especially
them to
for
keep
Billy.
coming. We want them to keep coming.
Right.
No, I think that's absolutely right. I just don't know if we've taken and done the due diligence.
Takes it too far.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send Steve, you know, what we're talking about here, and let him know that that's what we're looking at is can we do this? How hard would it be to make that happen in the spreading?
Right.
Maybe he could run a beta test fake round with red plugged in,
Yeah.
just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And
Well, if you took Hammer's play or Billy Kay's play and changed their E-box to the red with the red yardage, it's going to lower their handicap.
Well, it should.
Right, but they're over 70.
And
though.
it should. So that's what we're talking about. But that's what it should. It should lower their handicap
Right.
and not give them the big advantage.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, if it's the age would be the considering factor there. If you're over 70, you can play from the Reds.
Yeah.
yeah, I think Scott, you're and Rico, you guys are kind of saying the same thing, which is, in my view, is every guy that tees it up in the Richards wants to feel like he has a chance to be competitive. Yet at the same time, we have to ensure that the playing field is level.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that going to take? And maybe it doesn't change much, and maybe we're just going down a rat hole a little bit. But it just seemed like there was a switch the way who was winning the Nets.
Well, I'll tell you, when you look at the PGA Tour, you look at what Tiger Woods did when he came on the scene. He was playing for the same tees as everybody else, and until they started adding length to the courses, he was running away with it.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
I don't know. I mean, we're not going to come up with some exact science that's going to put everybody on the same field. What we're trying to do is get as close as we can.
Right.
And it's got to be simple. It's got to be easy. I don't think we need to put together something that is so complex that you got to explain it to people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I agree with you, Frank. No, that's what I'm
Like
trying to get.
your idea, CRP, to punt this up to Steve and see what he.
Yeah, that'll be the deal. We'll get him.
Yeah, if he can do that, then no worries. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And if it makes it seem, like, and if we notice some big change from it, okay, we would send the 1 to 5s back to the Blues. I know Chad Hurd has said he wouldn't mind doing that when we've kind of batted it around after a round. And because it kind of actually opens the course up for the long hitters.
Oh, I think so.
Cam also.
Right. But it would depend on your handicap.
Right. And he would get his would be adjusted, should be adjusted too, or whoever plays back there. So that's a whole,
If Steve can make that happen, if he can add the blue and red slopes to the spready, I don't see any real problem. We just have to make sure that we know who's hitting from the Blues, who's hitting.
Right. Now we got to agree on that. Right.
Hitting from the Reds.
Okay.
So that's how we'll handle that, and I'll get that right off to Steve, so he has all winter. Well,
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, till next week to let us know this is going to work.
That sounds reasonable. I like it.
And he's pretty reasonable too. I like Steve. Except when I step in it. But anyway, so that's good. New business.
Just a reminder, I know that we're coming up on Mesquite, but in probably the second week of June, Danny boy, we're going back to Boise.
Back to Boise.
So
Second week of June.
back to Boise. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not sure if the first or second. I got to get with Steve. We
Right.
usually put it together at the end of the year, but just keep that in your mind that the first 1 or 2 weeks of June, we're going back to Boise.
It'll be on the schedule for sure.
And Chris, back to the
Steve
list.
Green Memorial.
Okay.
Oh, God, well, we don't want to go on a memorial yet. Oh, my
Yeah.
Why not? Why
David-
not? He's in Boise. He's in
Hey,
Boise.
Definitely did.
Back to item one we never touched on was the dues.
Oh,
And
Right.
one thing, and rather, I don't know if that's I mean, how did we do last year budget wise? Did you come up short? Did you have enough money for
Well,
everything?
No, it was a little short, but it really didn't kick in until, we got to the end of the season here and the trophy prices had gone up. The food prices had gone up. To pay for the little excursion to Marine Parkway, the catering, it was around $350-400.
Well, what I'm thinking, because I don't think it makes a big difference if it's 45 or 65 or 50 or whatever it is. I mean, put together a budget for the year, knowing that, what it's going to cost for wieners, what it's going to cost for the trophies, catering, what's that catering bill at the end of the season? Do we have to pay for the room? Do we have to pay for, I mean, just kind of figure it out. And then, how many guys are we going to get in? Do we have 30 guys? Divided up that way, and wherever it falls, that's what the price is.
yeah.
And I don't think anyone's going to bat an eye about, again, whether it's 45 or 55 or 50 or 60, no one's going to care. Let's just make sure that you've got all of your expenses covered.
Right. Now,
And you know what else? You know what else I would say? I mean, 50 years in sales management, I gave out a bunch of trophies. I think we could look at the trophies real hard and make the trophies more special and give out a certificate for the people that did, we should have just 3 trophies and give certificates to everybody else. I mean, I wonder how many people, I kept every trophy I ever had. I got 60.
Well, Frank, the first couple years we did it. The first couple years we did it, I gave a trophy to everybody that was just a participant. It was just a 2006 Swingin Richard, and then they were
you started
cheap.
all of this.
They were
started all of this participation trophy.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. They were cool little trophies, and they were dirt cheap. I mean, they were only a couple bucks a piece, and that's where Greg got his name. That's where Greg got his name, Gerg, because somebody screwed up and couldn't spell Greg right, so it was Gerg McDonald. But I'll tell you what, I've got a buddy who's an investment banker for Wells Fargo, handles multi-million, I mean, big money, big fancy office. I went into his office not long ago. He still had his little trophy, his Swingin Richard trophy.
I still got mine
in his office.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just an idea.
Right.
If I could dovetail
I mean,
in
if
on,
everybody gets a trophy, it's not that special. I bet you gave out 12, 15 trophies, Chris.
Yeah, it is. And well, yeah, and Chad always wins the long Richard, and yeah, it's just like this guys are winning it over and over again. So it's almost like we could, but you want that point anyway. Yeah, it goes.
What it is figure out what it's going to cost and make sure that it's budgeted for it, and that all the events are covered. The catering at the end is covered, and if we have to raise dues to whatever the number happens to be, that's what it'll be.
Look at Rico, he's coming.
Got him for this trophy. It means so much.
Rico, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, Rico. I didn't mean it, Rico. I'm sorry.
It says eco. It says eco on it.
Eco.
Rico, he's a commie.
This is for Danny Boy. This trophy is for Danny Boy.
Yeah.
well, hey,
Oh, here's the
let me see.
Cock of the Walk trophy.
Oh, whoa.
No, Drake of the Walk.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Speaking of new business, Chris, one item that I had, because I hear guys talk about this every year and the hammer on it. And I don't know if it means getting rid of the long Richard. I still like having the long Richard just because it sounds right. And we should have a long Richard. Even if we take the points away from it, whatever, there should still be a long Richard. But what about the idea of this longest hole out on number 9?
Yeah, actually, that would be a good alternative to the long drive. So it'd be a putting thing versus.
A putting or a chipping. I mean, if you chip it in or, whatever, just the longest hole out. I've had a lot of guys come up to me over the years and say, why don't we do that?
Be easy.
Yeah.
And it's at 9 where, people can see what's going on.
And you'd get a point and some money too, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Point and
Yeah,
second.
I like it.
I do too. Let's try it.
Drop the long.
Yeah, I mean,
Keep add that, or do you drop the long?
Well, you know what? We don't drop it. You could still call it the long Richard.
So
It's the longest hole out.
So they get a.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I have mixed emotions about the dropping the long drive.
Well, I think the long Richard is something that's probably part of the swinging Richards.
Yeah,
right. But again, just throwing that out there, just because a lot of guys have asked for that over the years, that long hole out on number 9. And
right.
And hey, Scott, what is it mostly? Would that mostly be putts, or would it be?
It'd be almost exclusively putts. I mean, you're going to get a chip in every once in a while, but it's going to almost always be putts.
So we had one more placard out on the course. So you do long, and you also do number 9, longest putt.
I think that'd be
longest hole out on number 9. A lot of guys.
So
yeah.
do we do it?
Easy one to do.
Don't have to do a trophy for that though. So
no.
Get a point in money.
Just be an announcement and add it to the spreadsheet.
No, right. And the long Richard still works. They still get a point. No money. Because not everybody can get the long, but they get a point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth trying.
Right.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had, and we've talked about this for years, and I don't know if it'll ever work, or how we would make it happen, is to somehow work in a couple of times over the course of the season some team competitions. We tried that in the early years, playing Chicago, some different things. You mix it up, you get a new foursome, and you play that day as a group, in a team competition against the other foursomes out there. And then if you win first place, everybody in that group gets the first place points that week.
Right.
Mm. I always thought it'd be really cool to do a Richards 4-ball. I just a 4-ball competition, and I thought.
Like I said, I'm just throwing that out there as something to think about for in the future. I mean, we've tried it in the past. It's kind of fun to get it. And again, that's a way to mix guys up. You get everyone involved, and rather than one guy that week getting the first place points, 4 guys would get first place points.
Well, I'll tell you that when we went to Myrtle Beach this not long ago, and everybody loved it. We did that on the first day, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. And then winter golf, I did it Monday. I did it Monday, and everybody loved the team. They loved the team competition.
Yeah, that can be a lot of fun.
It's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
Something to think about over the winter, and just exactly how that would work, and what specific games and how you put that together. But yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I had a great time at Hidden Valley this year. It was wonderful. I played on a team that was casual and wonderful. They made me feel welcome. And it was Team Rico, of course. And also I got spiffy on number 7.
My brother.
Rico.
So
it was a motivational speech.
Thank you, Rico. God bless you, Rico.
It was a motivational speech.
Yeah, right, it was. Don't fuck up. Took me a while to realize what he was talking about, but it came around.
So I had something I wanted to float out there, which was I talked to CRP about this, but let me know what you guys think about something like calling it the Nice Dick Award for a Richard that kind of steps up throughout the year, helping when he's not asked to help, but just to recognize. And I thought would be cool. And flag, the Richards logo, Frank signed by the POE.
Well, hey, you know what? And Danny, along those lines, something else that might work is, and it's not the nice, it's going a little bit different direction, but for the guys that are doing all the volunteer work out there, I think that they should be called the Dick Squad. Maybe on the days that you're doing that job, you can wear a Dick Squad hat. Very powerful that day. No one could mess with you.
It's the starters.
Like it. We can get Stitt to go for that.
Yeah.
And then I had one more thing, and this is probably a can of worms, but so separate of whatever it's going to end up to for your annual fees, $50, $60, whatever it is to cover what we need to cover. Separate from that, what do you guys think about asking the Richards rank and file, putting it out there for a vote, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever, if they'd be willing to throw in $20 for a hole-in-one fund, and then that hole-in-one fund would remain in place for the year. If somebody aced throughout halfway through the season, they'd get half of that pot. The other half would remain for seed money. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
You know what? In what, 13, 14 years now, no one's ever made one. Right. And we still have the Wilhelmsen rule in force. If it ever does happen, you get all the cash that day.
Yeah, but that's only what?
A couple $100.
Yeah. I mean, if 40 guys put in $20 and, on July 7th, a Richard aces and he gets half of that pot, that's some pretty nice walking around money. And you still have half of that pot left to maybe go towards the banquet at the end of the year or cover something. I don't know. But I know we have the Wilhelmsen rule, which is a great rule, but I think I'm aware of some other associations that have a hole-in-one fund. Sometimes they have insurance. Rico, what do they do at Hidden Valley?
Yeah, it's an insurance thing. It's like $5 or I don't know.
Yeah.
10.
I don't know.
Well, I ain't paying.
Huh?
I said I ain't paying.
He's quoting again.
Wait a minute.
I don't even know thinking insurance. I got zero.
Yeah. Where's Greg Johnson when you need him?
If there's going to bet on himself, it's you.
Damn.
Boys.
I like it. Yeah, we better break this off. Dinner's coming, so
Food thought.
I gotta eat, baby. I gotta eat. The man's gotta eat.
Yeah, and Chris, I got to go get another drink.
Yeah, me too. Hey,
Hey, well done, Chris.
This is well done, and thank you very much for all you do.
Hey,
Thank you, buddy.
well, thank you, man. You can go. All right, guys.
Get it going.
Anything, let me know. Thanks.
See ya.
Hey, nice
Daniel.
to talk to everybody.
Good to see you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah.
Roots.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Hasta luego. How do I get out of this?
Hasta luego.
I'm trying. I keep pushing buttons. There you go.
Right corner and thanks,
Hasta
Rico.
vista.
Love you, man.